Hey my frugal friends, wagwan, welcome and welcome back to my channel. Frugality is life. I appreciate you being here. Welcome to all. And I'm recording this on February 16, which is a family day for us in Canada, so it's a holiday. So if wherever you are you have a holiday today, I hope because you're not going to see this video today, so I hope you spend it well. And if you wanted relaxation, I hope you got that. And if you wanted to spend time with family, I hope you got that as well. So thank you guys again for coming by. We are going to talk today about Black History Month. So happy Black History Month. We're going to talk about Viola Desmond, and specific to Canada. She traveled between Canada and the US, but this part of history is pertaining to Canadian history. So pull up a chair, grab your coffee if you want to hear a little bit more about this impressive lady, Viola Desmond Nee Davis. Okay, let's jump in. So I created this saving challenge and a whole binder dedicated to her, to save the $10 bills. And I'm going to tell you why. She's on the $10 bills, but I'm going to tell you why. And I created a 52-week saving challenge, but we're not going to do it in 52 weeks. And that's not how we're going to do it over here, okay? So I also have some envelopes here numbered from 1 to 52, but we're not going to put just one bills in. We're going to spice it up, or spice it up. And we're going to use the 3-sided dice here. We're going to roll for each slot, and it's going to tell us how many tens to put in each slot. What do you guys think about that? Spicy. All right. And because I want to maximize the savings in the saving challenge, we will be playing it all year until we complete all 52 slots. And it's all going to be this lady, Viola Desmond. It's always going to be these tens where she's on them. There are tens where she's not on them. Those are the older ones. These are the new ones. So let's get into talking about Viola Desmond. We're going to give you a little bit of history before we start saving money. So if you guys are new here, I use saving challenges to save towards my goal because it's fun and I love it, and it pushes me to save much more money. Moolah, that's what we want to do. Maximize our savings, right? So I use saving challenges to save, push me to save. I like to play with my money. I love it. People may say, why don't you put your money in the bank? Let it grow interest, all these things. Yeah, that's not fun. I have money in the bank that does that. The little that I take out that's not there, that's not generating 0.01 cent, is fine for me. Yeah, that's okay. I will put it there when I am done playing with it and I've gotten to my goal. That's just me. Now, do what works for you. It's your money, so you do you. And I do me, right? Okay. Nothing is wrong with putting your money in the bank and let it, accumulate interest. We all want that, right? But if you want to maximize your savings, saving challenges does that for me. And you don't have to wait until the saving challenge is all complete to put the money there. But I like to do that if I can. Okay, so that's fine. No judgment. We all want interest on our money, but we also want to maximize our savings, and doing saving challenges maximize my savings. So I love it. All right, so let's jump right into talking about Viola Desmond Nee Davis. Yeah. Let's jump in. Okay. So Viola Desmond, Viola Irene Desmond is her full name, and she was born in Canada, in Halifax, Nova Scotia. So that's the east side of Canada. She was born July 6th, 1914. Okay. She died February 7th, 1965 in New York. All right. So we're going to talk a little bit about her history and why this is so important to talk about, and why she's on the $10 bill, y'all. Okay. We don't say y'all in Canada, but I've been watching a lot of US friends. All right. Just let's jump right in. All right, so we are gonna go. Let's do envelope number 1. Let's see how many tens. So I have $60 here, so not a ton of tens, guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So $60, and we're gonna make it work. We're gonna make it work, and I hope there's no IOUs. I really hope. All right, so Viola Desmond, she was a Canadian civil rights activist and a businesswoman. So she founded a beautician school where she taught Black women about, you know, the business of you know, beauty and other things. That was her career. She was a beautician. So she would mentor young Black women in the Nova Scotia province, in that area. She was of mixed race, and back then there was not a lot of people that were mixed race, but she grew up in a mixed race family. So let's talk about where the story really got good, right? About her. And good but unfortunate. So she was on her way to a business meeting one day. So let's see, number one, we're going to do, 110. 110. Let's use our dice tray too. I feel like this is so far away from me. All right, so we're putting in 1 in number 1. Awesome. Okay. Put this here. Put this here so we can see. Okay. Put this over a little bit. All right. Number 2 is going to get 3. We made it up, right? So 1, 2, 3. All right. So so on her way to a business meeting in 1946, her car broke down, and so she had to take it to a mechanic. The mechanic told her, you know, it's going to take a few hours to get fixed, and so she had to wait on it, right? Obviously. So she decided to just go to a theater nearby to watch a movie while she waited for her car. So she went to the Roseland Theater there in Nova Scotia, right? So we're done with 1 and 2. All right. So she paid for her ticket and she went in and she sat on the main floor of the building to watch a movie. When she went to the main floor, the ticket person came by. Like, okay, so let's put some color on it a little bit. So in Canada, there wasn't an overt or official like racist policies. They weren't like openly in your face, and I think to this day it's really not. Like, it's really undertoned, or I don't know how to tell you guys, but it's not like out in your face, right? But it exists. So it was similar back then. So it wasn't like the racist policies, they weren't overt or, you know, official. So they created invisible barriers for people of color to navigate, because if you don't know, you don't know, right? So like, you only find out when things happen. So Viola paid for her ticket, and she took the seat on the main floor of the theater, which were supposed to be for whites only. The ticket taker redirected her to the balcony, where you know, Black people were supposed to be seated. But she realized that she was being discriminated against, and she refused to move, right? After all, she paid for her ticket. The theater manager, you know, came and tried to remove her, and she decided she's not going to move because she's been racially discriminated against. So they called the police, and the police forcibly removed her from the theater, where she received injuries to her knee and I think her knee and her hip. So she went to court the next day, and she was, you know, she was charged with attempting to defraud the federal government, because what they were saying is that the cost for the ticket for the main floor was like 1 cent higher than for the balcony. That's what they said with the tax, right? She did offer, like throughout all of this, she did offer before she was forcibly removed, she did offer to pay that difference. But of course, that was not the issue. The issue was not her paying the difference. The issue was she was being racially discriminated against, and whatever she did was not going to work unless she moved and sort of cooperated with what they were doing. And so she realized that, and she was forcibly removed. Now, in court, she like explicitly, you know, told the judge that she offered to pay the difference, and it was not accepted. However, she was still charge for refusing to pay the difference. And so like it was like they said she was trying to defraud the federal government, so she was charged $26, right? She was fined $26. So the trial, during the trial, she did not get any legal representation, nor was she informed that she had a legal entitlement to legal representation, right? So right there and then, she was still being discriminated against right throughout the process. So the Nova Scotia, I think they're called the Nova Scotia Representation for the Advancement of Colored People. They raised money to help her fight the conviction, to try to get it overturned. And there was this second Black-owned newspaper in Nova Scotia at the time called the Clarion. So they also publicized everything that was going on with the case, and so people would know what was going on. So Viola, she hired a lawyer to fight it in civil court, but it did not make it to trial, right? She also tried to do it through going to the Supreme Court, but the Supreme Court, but the Supreme Court allowed the ruling to stand, the conviction to stand. Okay, so yeah, she pretty much, they weren't having it, right? All right, so number 3 is 3, and we only have 2, so we're gonna have an IOU of 1. Okay, so I have to put that up. So we have to put that on. We have an IOU of 1. Let me see if I can find something to write that on. Yeah, so she went to the Supreme Court. They did not, they reaffirmed the ruling that she was guilty. And yeah, so $10 IOU. So in 1954, segregation legally ended in Nova Scotia. Years went on, and after her passing, her sister Wanda, I think Robson, she continued to spread the word and talk about what was happening or what happened to her sister. Even after she passed, her sister continued to talk about it, and she was wrongly accused, like all the things. So in 2010, Viola received pardoned, right? The government pardoned her for this conviction. 2010. This happened in 1946. Nice. So in 2010, which was literally 16 years ago, right? Not far, not long ago, guys. In 2010 is when she received pardon. This happened in 1946. So 64 years went on before she got any sort of acknowledgement or that this was wrong, that what happened to her. So we're gonna color in number 1 because we got that done. Number 1, I hope this dries. How did we got up to number 3, right? So 1, let's color this in, 2, and number 3. Okay. So 2010 she received pardon. 2017 she was inducted into the Canadian Walk of Fame. 2018 she was named a National Historic Person by the Government of Canada. And the November of 2018, Bank of Canada released this $10 bill with her likeness on it. So that is the story of Viola Desmond, and how she was, how she faced racial discrimination, how she stood up and she fought against it. But the system convicted her over and over again. She was unfairly treated because she was not given or provided with legal representation, which is, a right for everyone through that process. And it took until 2010 for her to receive pardon. 2010. So let's not forget, as George sent, what was his name? I'll put his name on the screen. He was a philosopher. As he said, something along the lines of, if you don't know your history, you're bound to repeat it, or something of the sort like that. So let's try to know our history. Let's try to remember the people that came before us, that fought to allow us today to have the rights and freedoms that we do today, because they did fight. The people did fight. They were strong. They pushed against a lot of things, and that's why us as Black people are free today. We still face discrimination. We still face racism. We still face all of these things, but we have come a long way, and we just need to remember those people who fought to get us where we are today. It may not be perfect. There's a lot of work to be done, and even today, living in the world today, we see that racism is so prevalent, and people are becoming so they're so forward with it. Like, they're not hiding anymore. They had this in them, but they have become more brave, more willing to openly say things like this. But there's one thing we have to just remember, that the fight goes on, and we just cannot give up. We just have to keep moving forward, and educate your kids about these things. History is something that we all should remember. We all should learn, because it is so imperative to what's happening today. Everything that's happening is connected with history. Everything has history. But anyways, guys, I am just going off on a tangent now. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know if you knew anything about Viola Desmond before today, and if you didn't, that's okay. We will educate each other, because there's so much. And you know what, I don't restrict myself to history, like Canadian history, or United States history, or Caribbean history. The history of the world it's all connected. It's all connected. We have to, as I said, keep learning, and just try to be good, and try to treat others the way we would want to be treated, because there's no way that anyone would want to be treated unfairly, discriminated against. No one wants to be treated unfairly or discriminated against. So let's treat people how we would want to be treated. So thank you guys so much for listening. Until next time, we will continue to stay with Viola Desmond. Keep budgeting, stay frugal, and walk good. Bye.